Good afternoon, Boulder Rotary. Good afternoon. We are going to start a few minutes early today because we have another packed agenda. So I'd like to turn to Scott Nelson, who is joining us on Zoom for the pledge and the four-way test.
Okay, so repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
And to the republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the four-way test. I can't really read the screens, but I've got it written down here. In all the things we say and do, we ask, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Scott. Welcome to Boulder Rotary, the best place to be on a Friday afternoon. Whether you're here with us in the room in Boulder or you're joining us from across the country or across the world on Zoom, welcome to today's program. We are going to have a celebration of Black History Month today with a very special program that we've all been looking forward to for a long time. Janet Beardsley, would you please introduce the guests and visitors here in the room today?
Will all of you who brought guests please stand so I can find you and have you introduce your guests? All right.
I'm going to introduce them. We're fortunate today to have Shauna and Jean, who work with Don Walford. Our time together goes back a solid 5 minutes. We're quite close at this point. But please welcome them to Rotary.
Anybody else with guests? Aha, I have to come all the way over here.
Thank you. Yes, one of our guests right here, this is Emily Zen. Emily Zen is our Director of Education at the Museum of Boulder, a longtime Boulderite, and we're glad you're here. Emily Zen. To my left is Adrian Miller. You'll hear a little bit more from him in a bit, but Adrian Miller's our guest speaker today. He is the soul food scholar. You'll hear a little bit more later. Adrian, we're glad you're here.
Good to be here.
Joining us as well is Annette James. Annette is also a longtime Boulderite, and she is the president of the NAACP of Boulder County. So honored to have you here. And another special guest, and someone you'll hear from as well, is Glenda Strong Robinson. And Glenda's joining us with actually wearing many, many hats. But I think she would tell you that she's a longtime business owner in Boulder, and she also serves as a minister at Second Baptist Church in Boulder. So glad to have her here.
Anybody else with guests here today? Okay, Vanessa, you want to take online?
Yes, thank you. Hi, I'd like to welcome all of our guests that are online. I believe we have like 5 or 6 people. And when I call on you, would you mind unmuting yourself and saying hi to the club? Juanita Matthews, would you like to say hi?
Hello, from Long Beach, California. Thank you for the privilege of being here.
Thank you for joining us. That's great. Then we have Cindy Schmidt. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for joining.
No, got it. Sorry. Hello. Having computer trouble, so you can't see me, but I hope you can hear me. Great to be with you all.
We can. Thank you for joining us. Dominica.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm past President Dominica, Rotary Club of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Once again, it's lovely to be with you. I always enjoy your meetings. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much. And then I think we have Hazel Greer. Would you like to unmute yourself and say hi?
Hello.
Hello, Hazel. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And Marcia, would you like to say hi?
Hi, I'm Marcia Kazel. I'm very excited to be listening in to Adrian Miller's presentation, and thank you, Chad Stam, for inviting me.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for joining us through the Zoom meeting, and I hope you enjoy our program today.
Thanks, everyone. We are truly a multi-access club, literally coming to you from around the world today. So thanks to all of our guests. For those sitting at Bill Anderson's table, your odds of winning the raffle just increased 10%. That being said, would everybody take out their raffle tickets? And while we're doing that, I'd like to give a couple of quick announcements. As you know, the club always works with the spelling bee, thanks to Norris Hermsmeyer and all of his efforts. This year, thank you. This year we are also doing 2 additional programs with BVSD. Destination Imagination, which is a STEM-focused competition, as well as the Battle of the Books, which is a reading competition. Please speak with Dr. Bob Murphy about Destination Imagination and Linda Niels for the Battle of the Books. They are going to spearhead those programs in the same way that Norris does for the Spelling Bee. And look for announcements on those this next week as for the types of volunteers, the time slots, as well as the sign-up sheet. Also, Sally, did we get the flyers on the table? Okay, I just want to make sure everyone saw the flyers on the table regarding the May 6th Service Above Self dinner. There's a lot of information on there, but please contact Sally or Kitty to learn more. We're going to be hearing a lot more about this dinner in the future, and there are going to be some very interesting ways that we're going to promote it. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of Sally, can we give her a round of applause, please? As you may know, Sally is spearheading our club's efforts in the fire recovery. It's quite amazing what the power of the wheel is. So far, the district has collected more than $73,000 from clubs locally, internationally, and all across the country. So thanks to everybody who has donated, and thanks to Sally for helping us to use that in the right ways. The raffle. The winning ticket is 724932. Oh, I heard some groans from the table over here. Daryl Brown, congratulations. You absolutely can. Going to the Polio Plus Fund, thank you so much. Next, I'd like to have Brad come up and give us a quick update on club finances.
All right, while Fred's bringing up the PowerPoint, Daryl, I'll get with you in just a minute with the check and we'll take care of it. All right, Chad asked me to spend a couple minutes talking about the club's budget and finance stuff, since that's not something most people are familiar with. And it's the ideal talk for right after people have had a great lunch. Numbers can put you to sleep in just a minute or two, so I'm going to try not to do that. And this is a really high-level bit of information that I'm going to give you. If you have other questions or you want to know more about the budget, or you can't sleep some night, give me a call, send me an email, and I will be happy to answer any and all questions. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about with budget is based upon a normal year. The last year and a half have been anything but, with COVID and meeting shutdowns and Zoom and all that. But in normal times, and we've maintained normal, just the numbers are a bit wonky, the club has 2 different budgets. One for operations, which is running the club, everything from having meetings and meals and buying badges and that sort of thing. And then we have a separate Good Works budget. That's all the projects we do, scholarships, spelling bees, everything else that we do. Those budgets are basically walled gardens. Good Works money never funds operations. If we have surpluses in operations, which hasn't happened as often recently, the board can direct some of that money to Good Works if they choose to do that. So the operations budget's created by the president before they start their year. It's approved by the board of directors. And then once we have a plan for the year, I pretty much manage that. Anything that's not in the plan either goes to the president or the board. For Good Works, the president works with committee chairs before they start the Rotary year. They determine how much money they need. For example, I sent Cassidy an email for next year already talking about resident scholarships. We're going to do that process over the next couple of months, but we don't pay those bills until the fall when people go to school, when our students go to school. So technically that's in next year's budget, even though we're going to select our scholarship winners in April and May. So this gets a little bit complicated. That's out of Good Works. So the president works with the club chair or the committee chairs, and then the board of directors and the foundation board of directors review and approve that budget. So in operations, that's completely funded by your $150 quarterly dues. That takes care of the meetings and the meals, which are listed there. Good Works is funded in separate ways. It's done by donations, it's done by fundraising, things like the signature event, other fundraising efforts of the club. Sometimes we get money from other Rotary clubs for things like international projects, and that all goes into Good Works. Yes? I can't hear you with the mask, Kathy. Yes, yeah, so our operations budget for the normal this year, if we were completely normal, is set at about $238,000, and it's like running a small business. And that goes to pay things like Rotary International dues, our district dues, pays for the JCC here. Meeting costs are spread out amongst all of the people that have an opportunity to come to the meeting, whether you're on Zoom or not. Pays for Zoom, technology, and all of those things that it takes to run the club. The total budget for Good Works is just under $100,000 and goes to the various committees that have requested funding for different projects. Now, about 60% of that money goes to scholarships. This club is big on scholarships, and we have 3 scholarship committees, and they get about $57,000 in their budget this year. So that's more than half of the money. So meetings, Chad wanted me to talk just a little bit about this. Meetings and the cost of doing the meetings. So JCC, badges and supplies, technology and all of that comes out of your $150. And then meals, we're all sitting here enjoying a nice meal. Those are paid for specifically by meal charges. Basically, if you eat, you pay. And if you're on Zoom or you choose not to eat a meal, then you don't pay for that. And that goes through the different meal charges that you RSVP for. And as I said, if you have any questions about that, hit me up afterwards, send me an email, give me a call, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Brad. Just a couple of quick housekeeping points here. The board of directors did approve the new contract for the JCC, so we are locked in for another year here at the JCC. We are also in the process of reviewing our new contract with Spice of Life, so look for some more information on that coming here in the next week. Michael McHale, would you please come and give us a quick BRCF report?
Good afternoon, everyone. This is going to be our first call for nominations to fill seats that will be opening up on the Boulder Rotary Club Foundation Board of Trustees. New members will be elected to serve starting in July of 2022. The Board of Trustees has been working hard to get ourselves organized so that as we come out of COVID, we'll be a stronger organization in our fundraising effort to support the good works of the Boulder Rotary Club and to support community-based nonprofit organizations that fill local needs that are aligned with our club priorities. If you would like to be considered for a seat on the Board of Trustees, please notify the BRCF Chair Kitty DeKeefer, President-elect Cassidy Murphy, or myself of your interest to serve on the Board of Trustees for the Boulder Rotary Club Foundation. Thank you.
I'm having some hard time with the mask today. There we go. Now I can see. Next up, with the Paul Harris Fellow Awards, Deborah Kelly and TK Smith are going to give us a quick presentation.
Well, this is one of the favorite things to do, is to talk about the Rotary Foundation. And so we'll start out right up front with a whole purpose is doing good in the world. You're going to hear that hundreds of times, and I want you to come away believing that this organization does more good in more ways with less politics, less religion, and just people to people. This is what the world needs more of, this country may need more of. And I want to go next to clean water, and a couple of comments before we do that. Our club has been involved in clean water projects for decades, and very recently, you all are familiar with the project on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, where 3 of our members, and by the way, 2 of today's awardees, have been very involved in making that happen in concert with, I think, close to 20 other clubs. That is really Rotary in action. So let's take a look. We're missing, there we go.
Rotary knows that providing access to clean water around the world is about more than digging wells. That's why Rotary brings together community leaders, governments, and agencies to plan policies and funding that ensure permanent access to water. Be part of the solution. Learn more.
Well, here are the 7 areas of emphasis and focus. And of course, clean water in the lower right-hand corner. I want to show you this from time to time so that you'll have a sense of the breadth of activities and where clubs can choose in concert with other clubs in other countries what it is they think will be useful, particularly drawing on the expertise and interests of folks in those other countries. And clean water is certainly something we take for granted. And I've asked the awardees that are in the room to step forward, and here are this month's awardees. And I want to emphasize we have some brand new people with their first Paul Harris. So if Deborah will start some handouts. Ronnie Wells will not be here, but Bill Anderson and Michael McHale. So congratulations and thank you for the 2 of you, your first Paul Harris. And as you all remember, that's $1,000 cumulative that they've donated to the foundation. Now, in some cases, they got some help for points from Michael Weatherwax, and I think Michael's going to continue his program. I know Brian Nichols is not here. I don't think Charlotte's going to be here. We have 2 past presidents, Bill Meyer and Marty Evans. I think it's so impressive that past presidents, even long after their term, are still contributing to the foundation. So thank you very much. Next, let's go to John Rieger, longtime member and active participant and contributor to the foundation. Thank you very much. I know Willie Knierim can't make it today, but I want to emphasize Lynn Johnson, please step forward. He is one of the major participants in the water project that I mentioned before. And you can see he's been particularly active. We're behind. He has 3 pins coming today. So again, thank you for your great contributions and your participation in a project. That's Rotary at work. So thank you. Want to touch on ways to give. Just one more time, I want to kind of remind you that there's a way to do this very easily via Rotary Direct. We have the forms over there. You simply sign up and indicate what you would like in terms of a recurring, whether it's $10 a month or $1,000 a month. We haven't had anybody do that recently, but it's open. So give it a shot. Make your life much, much easier. I want to end with one more item here.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, TK, and thanks to all of those who donate. It makes sense, Lynn, that you got 3 now, because when I saw the UPS truck show up and it was a dolly moving all the pens in. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you for your talk. I just want to give a quick story here. When we were putting this together, we worked with the Spice of Life, as I mentioned, and tried to come up with a soul food inspired meal. And Adrienne sent me a list of recipes. Well, as somebody who's coming off a 30-day diet, I am looking forward to the chicken, the cornflake fried chicken and the cheddar waffles. That is going to be like the next meal that I make. So thank you for that. Dr. George Russell, can we do birthdays, please?
Yes. I usually try to say something funny, and what I thought I'd do today is tell you the secret to what comedy is. I've asked Mike Brady to ask me the question, what is the secret of comedy, to which I'm going to reply, timing.
Yeah, so what's the secret of comedy? Yeah, all right, he's got it.
Mike Brady's having a birthday today, and he wants to say some words of wisdom.
So I've been a member of the club for about 12 or 13 years, and so I gave all my words of wisdom about 10 years ago, so I've run out. So one of the best things about being president is that you get to run the meeting. And Cassie and I, all week long, would giggle about some hidden joke that we're like, oh, I can't wait to do this or do that. And you would see it for 30 seconds, but we'd have all week to think about it. And I feel it's the same way with the Boulder Rotary Update. We absolutely love doing it. It's a lot of fun, and one of the highlights for us has been, of course, our good friendship with the third amigo, Fred, as we get to know him and we hang out. Some of the skits that you've seen on there, we're hanging out like you might hang out for coffee. We hang out and like think of funny stuff and try to do it, and we have some real good ones in the next month, so just stay tuned. But I love this club, and you know, I think that like anything, the more you give to it, the more you get out of it. And every hour I put in, I get 5 hours of five times the multiple of joy back to my life. So thank you very much.
Be sure and sit at the birthday table. It's the best place to sit on a Friday afternoon.
Happy birthday, Mike. And what a great way to segue right into the brew.
We had club elections last week, and congratulations to our 4 new board members starting their term July 1st. Linda Davidson, Norma Portnoy, Michael Simpson, and Hans Wick. And an extra special congratulations to President-elect nominee Carl Kurtz. He joins his place in line in our presidential succession.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Horsey fishy, fishy. Pandemic cookbook. Fishy fish, Amazon. The fish is horsey fishy, $9.99. Fishy fish, Amazon. Fishy. Fishy, Boulder Rotary Club. Fishy. Foo. Fishy. Foosh. Woof.
As we get near to the middle of February, many of us are thinking about love. Is it a card that makes you laugh? Is it a poem? Is it a meal unique and carefully prepared? Is it a night out, all dressed up with your special one? Or is it a song? I'm going with that last one. And next week, we'll be at the JCC to hear some of the most beautiful songs performed by the most talented young artists in Colorado. Jeremy Rieger and the Eklund Opera's Theater Singers will present a Valentine program for BRC. Bring your special ones for this once-a-year treat.
All together now. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Three Amigos. I'd also like to thank Lina and Lori for greeting us at the door today. Thanks to Kathy, Olivier, and to Vanessa for the welcome desk. Thanks to Christina for promoting the raffle, and thanks to Fred and Lynn for meeting management. I'd also like to give a special thanks to A Spice of Life for helping with today's menu, and thank you for the program today. If you could stay after for a few minutes to answer questions, that would be good. Okay, Adrian can stay for a few minutes and answer some questions. So thanks everyone, meeting adjourned.